Hello and welcome back to Digital Assets Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in your corner of the world. The MAS amends PS Act to incorporate FATF standards on VASPs. The MAS has proposed amendments will align the Payment Services Act with the most recent enhancements to the FATF standards in relation to virtual asset service providers. The MAS, also known as the Monetary Authority of Singapore, has issued a consultation paper on proposed amendments to the Payment Services Act 2019 in relation to AML, CFT, and other matters. The Payment Services Act 2019 will commence on 28th of January 2020, applying AML CFT measures to all three classes of payment service providers: holders of a money-changing license, standard payment institutions, and major payment institutions. The respective AML CFT notices will apply to all payment service providers providing any of the following payment services: account issuance, domestic money transfer, cross-border money transfer, money changing, and DPT, digital payment token. The new amendments follow a June consultation of the new AML CFT notices to be issued under the MAS Act that would apply to payment service providers. The final notices to be amended are available here and here if you're able to view your screen. After this, again, as always, the links will be provided in the description below. The two links are available to click right here and right here for further information. The amendments will align Singapore's new framework with the most recent enhancements to the FATF standards in relation to VASPs, which are virtual asset service providers. In this regard, MAS considers that DPT transactions carry higher inherent money laundering and terrorism financing risks due to their anonymity, their speed, and their cross-border nature. In addition, MAS seeks views on a proposed expansion of the regulatory scope for cross-border money transfer services in light of business models that facilitate the brokering of remittance transactions between entities in two different countries without actually accepting or receiving any funds in Singapore. MAS proposes to expand the regulatory scope of the Payment Services Act to include the following DPT service provider activities for the purposes for addressing AML CFT risks. Then you have transfer of DPTs, provision of standalone custodian wallets for DPTs, the brokering of DPT transactions, brokering of cross-border money transfer services, the Singapore incorporated entities providing DPT services outside Singapore. The MAS also proposes to make other amendments in respect of DPT services and certain technical amendments in the Act, including new powers allowing MAS to impose user protection measures, new powers allowing MAS to impose restrictions, and amendments to the scope of domestic money transfer services. The consultation paper, when you're able to view your screen, available here, is open for comment until January 28, the same day the Payment Services Act takes effect. I want to thank Chinu Patel for providing that information. Thank you, Chinu. Mnuchin confident the U.S. trade deal will be signed soon. The Treasury chief says both sides on same page, but Beijing yet to confirm U.S. version of the deal. The U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, he has said he had no doubt Washington and Beijing would sign a new partial trade agreement next month, marking a truce after nearly 2 years of conflict. He states, "I'm very confident," Mr. Mnuchin told CNBC. "It's just going through what I would consider to be a technical legal scrub, and we will be releasing the document and signing it in the beginning of January," he said in an interview on Thursday. World stocks rallied this month after U.S. and Chinese officials announced a Phase 1 deal involving the cancellation and reduction of some U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods in exchange for pledges from Beijing to make some reforms and buy more U.S. goods and services in the next 2 years. The details have yet to be released, however, and deals between the two powers have evaporated before. But Mr. Mnuchin said that this time both sides were on the same page. It's already on paper and it's already translated. It's not that it's open to renegotiation or that there are any open issues. U.S. officials said China agreed to increase purchases of U.S. products and services by at least U.S. $200 billion over the next 2 years. According to Washington, that would include additional purchases of U.S. farm products of U.S. $32 billion over 2 years. It would average an annual total of about U.S. $40 billion, compared to a baseline of U.S. $24 billion in 2017 before the trade war started. Chinese officials have so far not publicly confirmed much of Washington's version, especially on goods purchase commitments. On Thursday, China unveiled a new list of tariff exemptions for U.S. imports, mostly chemical products. China said the second part of the waiver list will be released at an appropriate time. Washington said the deal includes stronger Chinese legal protections for patents, trademarks, and copyrights, including improved criminal and civil procedures to fight online infringement, pirated, and counterfeit goods. The two countries have reached a consensus over the protection of trade secrets, guarding intellectual property rights for pharmaceutical products, and cracking down on counterfeit and pirated goods on e-commerce platforms. Chinese Vice Minister of Commerce Wang Shuwen said yesterday, at the time of this article, China will step up protection of intellectual property, but at its own pace, Mr. Wang added. Separately, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has called on the U.S. not to sign a trade deal with China unless Beijing agrees to release 2 detained Canadians. Former diplomat Michael Kovrig and businessman Michael Spavor have been held in China since they were arrested on December 10 last year, accused of espionage. Their case is widely viewed by Canadians as retribution for the arrest of Huawei Chief Financial Officer Meng Wanzhou in Vancouver just 9 days prior. She is wanted in the U.S. on charges related to Iran sanctions violations. Beijing yesterday said the current difficult situation between Canada and China was entirely Ottawa's responsibility and called for the government to release Meng immediately. When you pull out chestnuts from the fire at the behest of others, you will only end up hurting yourself, Foreign Ministry spokesman Greg Shuang said at the regular press briefing, using a Chinese expression referring to doing others' dirty work. He did not say if the U.S. had asked China to release the 2 Canadians, but Canada should stop colluding with others to pressure China. Mr. Ging also said Canada's bid to link Sino-U.S. trade matters with other issues is doomed to failure. All right, now we're going to get into a few other things with XRP, Ripple, Stellar, XLM, etc. I mentioned before that as I cross them in my research with XRP, I would share them and state them to be so. State Bank of India, IBM, co-developed RippleNet-enabled banking platform. On the LinkedIn profile of an IT solution architect of IBM India, Viral Shah, there was information that he's into RippleNet's research as part of his works at the corporation. However, he is working on Yono. You only need one. A payment mobile application that combines banking services with lifestyle shopping features. Yono is a product of the State Bank of India. It was released in 2017 with the aim of letting people have access to various financial services. Viral in his profile noted that he proffers various solutions for Yono app for various CRs, as well as performing proof of concept on Ripple blockchain implementation for bank. The Yono digital platform has helped the government-owned largest public sector bank to cut some costs. over 463.4 million USD, used in setting up of ATMs and maintenance. Assumptions that IBM and Ripple may be related are also based on specialist development work in some related projects. Viral Shah, according to Profile Data, is simultaneously working on Yono, the digital banking platform of SBI. This solution allows users to access various financial and other tools, such as booking flights, trains, buses, and taxis, online payment of medical bills, and etc. SBI announced the launch of the initiative, in which a public financial institution seeks digital transactions, in August of 2019. The ambitious project aims to replace credit and debit cards that are used by more than 930 million people in the country, with a platform on which cash and non-cash payments will be processed. Thus, India seeks to popularize digital payments, and the platform using RippleNet helps it in this. Yono is an extension of SBI's trusted banking, and thanks to which India has obtained reliable digital products such as SBI Anywhere and SBI Net Banking. Yono SBI provides clients with India's largest range of products and services. The chairman of the State Bank of India, Ranish Kumar, said the bank partnered with a number of top firms to ensure high-quality delivery on the banking platform. IBM was involved. It helped in developing the technology stack, while the firm responsible for business strategy consulting is McKinsey. Amazon, Microsoft, and other major Indian IT firms were also among the 85 partners. One moment. Oh, sorry about that. My throat dried absolutely out to nothing, or I could hardly speak. Amazon, Microsoft, and other major Indian IT firms were also among the 85 partners that jointly developed the banking application. Firstly, it is India's largest trading market. Here you can make profitable purchases through merchants who offer purchases, vacation reservations, booking airline tickets and bus tickets, booking train tickets, food delivery, etc. Secondly, the service simplifies interaction with banking products. The user can easily check the balance, make a deposit, etc. Thirdly, thanks to instant payment, the parties can make payments in real time. Fourth, the service offers a smart spending feature where the user can analyze their spending. Note it provides with the ability to monitor credit cards, life insurance, general insurance, travel insurance, accident insurance, SIP, mutual funds or investments in a single service. The first mention of cooperation between the parties appeared in a study by Finastra, formerly Mises, from 2016. However, the parties did not make official statements on joint work. IBM is working with Ripple to add direct access to cross-border payments for non-correspondent banks to its Financial Transaction Manager, the FTM platform. D+H has integrated Ripple into Global Pay Plus, its global payment services hub offering. CGI has incorporated Ripple into its intelligent gateway solution. Earthport incorporates the Ripple protocol as part of its DLT, Distributed Ledger Payments Hub, with API-based integration. Note that the moment IBM is actively collaborating with another blockchain startup, Stellar, companies are developing the WorldWire payment system. The launch of the latter took place in August of 2018. The platform for organizing cross-border payments uses the Stellar protocol. It is known that during the work of WorldWire, more than 44 banks joined the project. My apologies. Not sure what happened. My throat just absolutely dried out. On Twitter, there's Jesse Lund, IBM's head of blockchain solutions, says IBM's cross-border payment network Blockchain Worldwire can also offer their customers XRP as one of the choice as a settlement asset. XRP, the standard. If you're interested, there is a video. You can come back and click the link. Again, the links are always provided in the description below. We want you to have the information, to have the knowledge, and share this freely as you would like. Worldwire and Ripple are formerly competitors. Both projects deliver developments that can replace traditional banking solutions for transferring funds. Recall, it recently became known that the SBI Group's investments helped the Ripple blockchain project increase its market capitalization to $10 billion USD. Quick sip, my apologies. Accenture wins the central bank deal for digital Swedish krona trial. And this is brought up because it will connect to what's happening currently in the news. On Friday, Sweden's central bank, Riksbank, announced that Accenture would be its technology partner for an e-krona pilot project, a retail central bank digital currency, CBDC. Riksbank made clear that the project was a test, with no decision being made about launching an e-krona. The trials will include payments via mobile phones, cards, and watches, plus it will involve payment service providers, stores, and the Swedish payment system. The initiative is likely to involve multiple iterations, and the first phase will run to December 31st of 2020. But the bank said it could extend the effort for an additional 6 years. Riksbank started to explore the need for a CBDC in 2017 as a result of the declining use of cash. In 2018, just 13% of consumer purchases used cash, down from 39% in 2010. But a major driver is the private control over the payments infrastructure. In a recent report, Riksbank stated if the state via the central bank does not have any payment services to offer as an alternative to the strongly concentrated private payment market, it may lead to a decline in competitiveness and a less stable payment system. Currently, consumers predominantly use credit cards and Swish for payments. The latter is a mobile app launched by 6 major Swedish banks. The dominance of Alipay and WePay in mobile payments is also one of the drivers behind China's soon-to-launch CBDC. And the European Central Bank stated the high cash penetration across the euro area was disincentive for launching a CBDC. Meanwhile, 11 companies pitched for the current project, which was whittled down to 3 contenders, with Accenture chosen as the winner based on price and quality. Accenture's CBDC track record. While Accenture is one of the most experienced consultancies in terms of CBDC, to date, most of its public work has focused on wholesale or institutional currency trials, such as experiments and reports for Canada and Singapore. And as we've mentioned previous videos with that, using XRP. A couple of months ago, the consultancy also announced a deal with SAP. The two firms are using SAP's platform for central bank payment systems to enable integration with blockchain payments as an add-on without the need for a radical overhaul of the underlying payments infrastructure. And then here we have Ripple and SAP collaborate on international settlements using the blockchain. I'm not going to go into this article, as I only wanted to reiterate that as Accenture works with Ripple, so does SAP, and SAP back to Ripple. In this article, Accenture, Ripple, SAP, or SAP, Swift join International Blockchain Group. I will go into this just a bit. Yesterday, the European Commission hosted, at the time of this article, let's go back a bit, I believe it's 9 months ago. Yesterday, the European Commission hosted the launch of the International Association of Trusted Blockchain Applications, INATBA, with a speech from the Commissioner for Digital Economy, Maria Gabriel. The group aims to create a forum where regulators and policymakers can interact with blockchain and DLT developers and users. The organization has been planned for some time and has more than 100 participants from the enterprise, blockchain, and public blockchain communities. Founding members include Accenture, Consensus, GuardTime, IBM, IOTA, R3, Ripple, and SAP from the financial sector. There is Trade Finance Network, We.Trade, as well as Barclays, Spanish Bank BBVA, Italy's Intesa San Paolo, and 2 German stock markets, Deutsche Börse and Börse Stuttgart. The group has several goals. Firstly, to maintain a dialogue between public authorities and regulators with the ultimate aim of converging global approaches to regulation. Secondly, to promote an inclusive governance model for blockchain and DLT infrastructures. The third is to support the development of interoperability. And finally, to develop sector-specific guidelines. Although the European Commission facilitated the INATBA, its aims are global. So far outside of the EU, there are members from Canada, the US, and Japan. In his blog post following the event, Roberto Viola, Director General of DG Connect and the European Commission, spoke about the drive to expand globally. But he also outlined the need for speed. You need to set the Governmental Advisory Board working, quickly establishing working groups and identifying verticals. Where specifications and standards are needed, you need to identify concrete regulatory problems that could be addressed through legislation. The ball is in your court. Once that preparatory work is done, we will help you reach out to the relevant regulators in Europe and beyond. And again, as mentioned, when I run across the the Stellar Ripple XRP XLM connections, I told you I would continue to add them as they had been coming. They had been coming more frequently. This article: Can IBM and Stellar's WorldWire surpass Ripple and Swift as cross-border payments leader? In late January, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse shared a stage at the Paris FinTech conference with Swift CEO Gottlieb Brandt, arguing why each firm represented the future of cross-border payments. Their arguments basically came down to whether banks would be willing to abandon their tried and tested relationship with Swift to embrace the benefits of a decentralized network, as he has often done. Garlinghouse claimed that the future belongs to decentralized networks, but that decentralized network may not belong to either Ripple or Swift. Operating on the Stellar blockchain network, IBM's WorldWire payment service may offer a best of both worlds solution, combining the decentralization and speed of Ripple with a trusted reputation and existing relationship with major banks comparable to Swift. IBM's official website outlines the WorldWire's benefits, and they are almost identical to those of Ripple's xCurrent and xRapid offerings: near instant transactions, complete transparency, and through transaction tracking, low clearing cost, and compatibility with any currency or asset type. IBM also notes that 97% of the world's largest banks are already IBM clients, while 90% of global credit card payments are processed on IBM mainframes. The WorldWire is designed to bring the full range of disruptive advantages offered by Ripple while being as easy for banks to adopt as Swift's offerings. IBM and Stellar's WorldWire IBM and Stellar's WorldWire are also deftly overcomes one of Lebrant's biggest arguments against the likelihood of banks adopting Ripple's technology. Including transfers via xRapid means converting fiat currency into Ripple's XRP cryptocurrency, then converting this back into fiat currency at the other end of the transfer. The WorldWire instead allows any agreed-upon digital asset to be used as the intermediary, including stablecoins such as the Stronghold US dollar pegged coin, bank-specific stablecoins such as JP Morgan's recently announced JP coin, could also theoretically plug seamlessly into the WorldWire network. We analyzed the announcement of JPM Coin in a recent article, along with Garlinghouse's argument that a system of such bank-specific proprietary currencies could be grossly inefficient compared to a shared open network like that provided by Ripple's XRP blockchain. In a recent interview with Cheddar, IBM's head of blockchain, Jesse Lund, was clear on the differentiation between WorldWire and JPM Coin. WorldWire is aiming to introduce fungibility of digital assets with stablecoins that are much more broadly accessible than JPM Coin's in-house blockchain-based payment solution. Speaking with Finder, Lund explained that a large number of banks are expected to be part of the network from launch. We're going to be supporting more than 50 countries out of the gate, 30 to 40 currencies, and enough market makers to drag along 30 or 40 banks. So we'll have a significant portion of the world covered. We've got letters of intent with several banks around the world to support and issue digital currencies, stablecoins, and other currencies. A major announcement regarding WorldWire is about to be made as IBM's Lund shares a keynote speech with Stellar founder Jed McCaleb at the Money 2020 conference in Singapore. Why has IBM chosen Stellar is the next section of the article. In her most recent letters to shareholders, IBM CEO Virginia Rometty described IBM blockchain as the global leader in improving trust and transparency across business networks by creating new way for clients to share and secure data. With more than 500 blockchain-based client projects and more than 85 active blockchain networks under its umbrella, the same letter details various ways in which IBM's new technologies are being adopted by major banks, including implementation of its developing AI tech. Leading European bank BNP Paribas is given as an example of major bank working to incorporate IBM's AI into its services. As regards WorldWire and the IBM Stellar partnership, this underscores how closely IBM is already working with many leading world banks. But it does beg the question, why does IBM need to work with Stellar? Lund mentioned two key words when explaining IBM's choice of Stellar to Finder: transparency and scalability, in her letter to shareholders. Rometty mentions making use of open source protocols as being a key part of businesses successfully building a successful hybrid approach to next generation digital solutions. With WorldWire, IBM are practicing what they preach and adopting the open source Stellar network as the backbone of their payment solution. Just wanted to share that information with you today to update what's happening and to catch up on a few articles that had been in the file that I hadn't had a chance to share with you. So again and again, I continue to find Stellar and Ripple seem to be competing / working together. Who knows where this will turn out in the end, what's going on, but Brad Garlinghouse himself stated that those with a use case and a product will most likely succeed. Again, this is not financial advice. We're here for entertainment purposes only. Wishing you the greatest of nights and much love to all of you. Till the next one.